So, we'll have Prime Minister Boris Johnson. He will try and renegotiate a deal with Europe, but because he's boxed himself in by saying he won't accept a backstop and the EU won't budge, he'll fail. We'll be staring down the barrel of a no deal. And in that scenario, Parliament will try and stop a no deal through a vote of no confidence. The vote of no confidence, however, will fail because when confronted with the reality of bringing down their own government and the political ramifications of that, Tory rebels will choose to back their government, but on the condition that the government puts forward a second referendum. We'll see an extension of Article 50. We'll have a second referendum in which no deal or remain will be on the ballot box, with Boris Johnson campaigning for no deal and the Labour Party campaigning for a second referendum. And when confronted with those two choices, the country will opt to remain.
Why are you so sure that he will fail in a renegotiation?
Well, because I think he's boxed himself in. I think by being so bullish about the fact that he will leave on the 31st of October, do or die, I think the fact that he's basically said he won't accept the backstop means he has so little room to manoeuvre. So in the end, the backstop will have to be dealt with in some way. He won't be able to sell it in Parliament. He won't be able to sell it to his own side. The EU are not going to budge on it because, in the end, it's their insurance policy. There will be talk of alternative arrangements. We've seen the working group of an alternative arrangement. For the EU, they will say, great, you've got an alternative arrangement. You don't need to be scared of the backstop. It's an insurance policy. But because of your alternative arrangements, we know we'll negotiate something. Let's crack on, to which he won't be able to get his side to agree to. And so, in the end, we will have the impasse that we've had for the last year. You know, let's be clear, no deal would be an absolute disaster for this country. It will be a disaster because it will be a hit to the economy. So, you know, the government's own watchdog has come out and, you know, you can shake your head and say these are fantasy numbers, but every credible economist will tell you that there will be a hit to the economy.
But we're talking here about what the new Prime Minister Johnson might do. He doesn't believe that it would be a hit to the economy, so he's possible he would do it.
But MPs do. And in the end, Brussels knows that we have a parliament that is sensible enough to look at the facts, to look at the evidence, to look at the expertise and say, this is bad for our country, it is bad for the future of this country, we will not make this happen. And because they know they have that, they will stand there to the 11th hour. There will be an awful game of brinkmanship, awful for both sides, quite frankly. But in the end, when confronted with that, we will blink. Our MPs will blink and they will force the government's hand.